everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mickey and I'm a South African citizen that is currently living in South Korea. I teach English for a living and I've been in South Korea for about 6 months now. In this video, I'll be revealing how much I earn as an English teacher, as well as giving you a full breakdown on how I spend that money on a month-to-month basis. I'll be covering taxes, healthcare, rent, utilities, food, entertainment, and transport. I'm hoping that you can get a general idea of how much you can potentially save if you are someone that wants to come and live and work in South Korea as an English teacher. I've crunched down the numbers, I've gathered the receipts, and I've counted every penny I've spent ever since I got here so that I can make this exact video for you guys. And I promise that this is the only video that you will ever watch on the internet that will be covering this topic in great detail like how I am about to. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. For those of you who don't know, if you want to come and teach English in Korea, you will either be teaching at a government school or a private school. I teach at a private school, so this video will only be about information based on that context. So if you are someone who is also going to be teaching at a private school, your expected monthly income is going to be between 2.2 million won to 2.4 million won. And with the current exchange rate, that is 32,681 rand to 35,652 rand. I know that when I came to Korea, the figure was a bit lower than that, but like I said, depending on when or depending on what time you watch this video, the exchange rate will be different, but as of right now, that is the amount that you will be earning. So for the purpose of this video, let us assume that you are someone that is going to be coming to teach in Korea with whatever degree that you have, and you will be earning the bare minimum, which is 32,681 rand. The first thing that will be deducted from your salary is going to be income tax. Now, from what I am aware of, everyone that is in Korea teaching English as a foreign language is on an E2 visa. That's how you can legally teach in Korea, by being on an E2 visa. And people that are on an E2 visa pay 3.3% towards tax, and 3.3% of 32,681 rand is 1,078 rand. So the first thing that will be deducted is 1,078 rand. The second thing that will be deducted from your salary is medical insurance. Now, medical insurance, from my understanding, is also like how back home we pay for medical aid. Your school has to pay 50% of that medical insurance for you, and you also pay 50% of the amount. And I'm not sure if we are all under the same medical insurance or whatever, if you're on the E2 visa or your school chooses what kind of medical insurance. I'm not 100% sure of that information, but I know that I am currently paying 860 rand towards my medical insurance. So after that is out of the way, your income tax and your medical insurance, the next thing that will be deducted from your salary is your rent. Now, this one has to be my absolute favorite thing about teaching English in Korea. When you teach in Korea, you do not pay for accommodation. Your school needs to pay for your apartment, and you do not pay a single cent towards having a roof over your head. If ever you get a job and your employer is saying that you'll be paying your own rent, I would highly recommend that you do not take that job, because they are playing with you. Like, they are literally robbing you in broad daylight. There are some exceptions to that rule, meaning that, for example, if your employer does not want to pay your rent, they have to give you money towards your rent on top of your salary. So for example, they say, oh, we're going to give you 5,000 rand a month and you have to pay for your own apartment, and they give the money to you on top of your salary every month. Now, I did not opt for that option because this is my first year in South Korea, so I felt like it was just easy to let my school handle that. They look for the apartment, they pay for the deposit and all of that. So yeah, I do not pay any rent in South Korea, so 0 rand will be deducted from your salary that will be going towards rent. Yeah, 0 rand. Now that rent is out of the way, the next thing that you would need to pay for are your utilities. And utilities include gas, water, and electricity. Now, this bill will obviously differ from month to month because you don't use the same electricity and the same water and the same gas every single month. Those numbers will vary according to seasons, whether it is summer or winter, and just other factors in general. And from my based on my calculation, in summer, for example, I mean in winter, for example, I used so much gas. Gas is basically the heating system. Like, most houses in Korea have heated floors, so if it's like really cold, you can just turn that on and your house will get warm like really quickly. That gas bill is, I feel like, my most expensive utility because, for example, in winter it was really really cold. I have never in my life experienced such a cold winter, so my heating system was always on like 24/7. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I used my gas a lot in December because it was really really cold. And I remember when I got that bill back, it was probably like 1,200, and that was way more than I had used the previous month. And I was just like, okay, I want to use a bit less than that because 1,200 was just a bit too much for me. So what I decided to do was I bought a heater because electricity and water in Korea are super super cheap. Like, you don't even feel that you're paying for your water and your lights because of how ridiculously cheap they are. So yeah, I opted to use a heater instead of using my floor heating. My apartment is really small, so the heater really really helped me, and I literally took my bill down from 1,100 to 1.2 to approximately, now I would say I'm paying like 600 rand a month for my gas. And for lights and water, I would say the most amount that I've paid for that is probably 300 rand a month. So yeah, lights and electricity are just very cheap. I mean, lights and water are just very very cheap. Now that you've paid for utilities, the next thing that you will most likely need to pay for is transport. Now, I feel like I'm a very bad person to give you a figure about how much you'll be using on transport in South Korea because I do not travel a lot, and traveling for me, like going to other cities and all of that, it's not a priority for me, especially this year. So I only travel within my city. I've only ever been to two other cities, and they are like neighboring cities. It wasn't like a thing where I'm paying like so much money just to go and travel to that city, and I'm going on vacation and I'm going to explore. I've never done anything like that ever since I got here. So yeah, I only travel within my city. I only explore things that are in my city. And number two, I walk to school, so I don't have to pay to go to work. My workplace is literally like a 2-minute walk. So yeah, I really love that for me. And also another thing, I do not take Ubers when I'm traveling. I'm not the type of person to be taking an Uber, maybe because I want to go and visit a friend that's in the same city as me, or if I just want to go to a new location. I generally only take Ubers if it's at night and there aren't any buses. And if you live in Korea, you know how ridiculously cheap the buses here are. Like, you don't even feel that money. You do not even feel it. That is one thing that I love about Korea. Another thing, I mean, that I love about Korea, that the transport system here is so cheap. And based on what I just told you guys, those three factors, the fact that I don't travel outside of my city, that I don't take Ubers, and that I don't need to pay transport money to go to school because it's near me, I would say that I use probably 200 rand a month for transport. Yeah, I pay 200 rand a month on transport. And I think For the purpose of this video though, because I feel like my number is just like so unrealistic, like 200 rand is very little. Let's just assume that you will be someone that will travel a bit more than I do, because I don't feel like I go out that much. Let's just say for the purpose of this video, you will be paying 400 rand a month on transport. The next thing that you will need to pay for after you have paid for your transport on a month-to-month basis is going to be your food. We all need food to survive, and I feel like this is probably my highest bill in Korea. As somebody who is from South Africa, I just feel like groceries in Korea are 10 times more expensive than what they are in my home country. It's something that I've been trying to get used to for a while now, but I don't know, like there's just some things, for example, that I just can't justify the price of, you know. Like fruit, for example. If you are somebody that watches these YouTube videos about people that are in Korea, you always hear people complaining that fruits are so expensive. And I thought maybe like they were exaggerating, you know, because yeah, people just tend to exaggerate sometimes. But as someone who's actually living in that reality, fruits are so damn expensive. Like if you are living in Korea, you'll probably have to eat one fruit a week. This week you're eating bananas, next week you're eating apples, next week you're eating strawberries. Like you literally have to plan for it, because I don't know, like buying a lot of fruit at once is just, it's too much. It is too much. I know my friend once posted that she bought a watermelon, half a watermelon, not like the whole thing, for 215 rand. The other day I bought 2 carrots for 38 rand. I buy bread, 10 slices of bread at Paris. I don't know how to pronounce it, Paris Baguette. I buy brown bread. I don't eat brown bread. And for 10 slices, I pay 40 rand for 10 slices of bread. So yeah, the groceries in Korea are just way too expensive for my liking. So don't be too shocked if the figure is high. And with that being said, I pay approximately 4,000. Yeah, 4,000. I wrote it down. I pay 4,000 rand a month for groceries, and I feel like I should not be paying that much, honestly. Like it's ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is. We're here now, and what can we do? So the next thing that you need to be paying for is probably going to be your entertainment. Now, I do have to put it out there that entertainment for me is not very much of a priority this year. I am someone that's prioritizing my savings above anything else. And I really came here with the mentality thinking that, oh, this year I'll just be saving and I won't be doing anything, because I want to hit like a certain figure, right? After I finish this year. But unfortunately, entertainment is something that you will have to budget for. I thought I could just like raw dog it and I don't know, like be frugal and not do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, you have to. I mean, you are in a new country. There's so much to see and so much to do. And I feel like prioritizing your savings all the time isn't really going to be sustainable to your mental health. So you do have to splurge now and again. With that being said, the figure that I'm about to give you guys may also be a bit unrealistic again, because I don't travel outside of my city. Some people entertain themselves by going to different cities and, you know, like sightseeing, things of that nature. I do that, but not outside of my city. I generally do it within my city, excuse me. And number two, what's the other factor that could determine how much I spend on entertainment? Yeah, I think that's the only factor, that I just don't go out of my city. And yeah, so for entertainment, I would say that I spend approximately 3,000 rand a month. And that 3,000 probably includes like maybe going out to dinner with friends, or going to the movies, going to cafes, just things like that. I budget 3,000 rand to do things of that nature. These are all the expenses that I think most of us need to pay at the end of the month, There are some other things as well, but obviously these are the necessities. And based off of the figures that I just gave you guys, at the end of the month, earning the minimum amount, you should be left with 22,343 Rand. Now, this figure, like I said, it is for people that are generally going to be living the same lifestyle as I am. I know, for example, traveling may be a big deal to you, so you may spend more money on traveling or food or entertainment or whatever the case is. This was just a rough figure, and the rough figure is that you will be left with 22,000 after you have done everything that you need to do in order to survive as a human being on this earth. And as somebody who once was looking for this kind of information back home, wondering if it was worth it to move abroad and do what I'm doing right now, I would definitely say that it has been worth it, like 100%. Like I said, groceries here are expensive, but the salary does make up for it, and yeah, I am completely satisfied, especially considering that I am a fresh graduate. I came to Korea straight after I graduated. I had no work experience. I did not have a teaching degree, which would have probably meant that I need to start to study like for another year back home just so I can get into the teaching industry. So yeah, it's been really great, and I would choose this experience 10 times more if I could. Like, if you put me, I don't know, in another life situation, whatever the case is, I would always choose this experience of being abroad. It is literally the best thing ever. The financial security that I feel, the financial comfort is is something that I don't think that I would have been able to experience at home, especially at this age, with this degree, with this work experience, like being me. It would have taken me years, I feel, to get the same level of comfortability that I'm getting right now in this current reality of my life. So I know for some of you, like I said, you may be thinking of whether or not you want to come and teach English in Korea. I hope this video has given you a clear picture of how much you can potentially save. And if you guys have any more questions for me in the comments, please do not hesitate to ask. I'll be dropping more videos about this kind of content. For example, how to teach in Korea, things that I love about being in Korea, just to get you guys to see Korea from my perspective. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and please share with your friends and subscribe. Bye.